Hey y'all, it's Shay Cherie. I'm starting off this necklace display with a piece of 12 by 12 foam board, some fleece batting, and some muslin fabric. While I do have a mannequin I can use to display my necklaces, I wanted something smaller and easier to work with for getting product photos. In full transparency, this definitely started as an experiment and it happened to work out, so here's the video. Here, I'm cutting the fabric down to have a healthy size perimeter on each side of the foam board. You'll see in a bit that I'm adding an attachment, so I need enough space in my fabric to wrap around all of that. And off camera, I did go ahead and iron my fabric. You want to get the wrinkles out as much as possible because you don't want that showing up in your product photos. The next step is creating my attachments. I've got some cardboard scraps and I'm using a deli container to trace a circle. I'm going to trace and cut 6 circles in total. I'm splitting my circles in half and I'm gluing 3 together for one stack and the other 3 together for the second stack. One stack is going to be glued directly to the foam board to create some depth, and the other stack will be on the outside of the display for show. For my circle stack that's going to be on the outside, I'm first going to wrap it with a layer of batting. So I'm going to cut a piece of that down to size, and then I'm also going to wrap it with a piece of fabric. So I'm cutting a small piece of fabric for the circle as well. I'm gluing my circle to the center of the batting, and because this is a circular object and not straight, I cut slits around the circle so the batting will lay flatter without there being too many gaps or puckers in the fabric. Editing shade thought I was about to go ahead and wrap the circle in fabric, but I remember this was an experiment, so I wasn't necessarily doing it in the most efficient order. So instead, I am positioning and marking the placement for my other circle onto the foam board, and I'm gluing that in place. Next, I'm covering my foam board and circle attachment with the piece of batting, which I should have cut to a bigger size to help with wrapping it around, but I'm going to work it out. I'm gluing the edges down, the edges of the batting to the back of the foam board, and I'm doing that all the way around. I start at the top, and then when I get to the bottom, I'm pulling the batting as tight as possible for a smooth and firm hold. Before I glue the sides, I do cut a slit in each corner to reduce the bulkiness and help the side lay flatter. Now I'm covering the base piece with fabric, and I'm using the same process that I just did with the batting fabric, gluing down one side and then pulling the other sides taut and gluing those in place. I did have to cut down some of the excess fabric because it wasn't needed, and then again continued to glue everything down. All right, here's the fully covered base. Now I'm going back to my other circle to cover that with fabric. Same process as before in terms of cutting the slits, except this time I cut even more slits because this is an outer piece and you'll be able to see it. So I wanted the coverage to be that much smoother. Once that's covered and ready, I glue it to the base on top of where the other circle is positioned. This is going to give my necklaces something with structure to hang on to when I take pictures. Here's how it looks with a chain necklace that I made in a previous video. Go check that out. I'm not a fan of this look because the chain falls into the seam instead of hanging on the outer piece. So I tried it with a chunky necklace with larger beads, and this is the effect that I wanted. So all in all, this was a good project to make, and I'm sure you'll be seeing it more and more down the line as I make more necklaces and take photos of them. Thanks for watching this video. Please give it a like and subscribe for more creative content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.